This is Mrs. Regan, and this is video number 3, part 3 of the Critical Lens essay for the New York State ELA exam. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to write the introduction and what goes into the thesis statement. The first thing that goes into your introduction in any essay is your topic sentence. And the topic sentence for your introduction is going to be the quote. So you're going to start with the actual quotation. Use the author's name if it's given. You always say so-and-so once stated or said, comma. You always want to put the quotation from the critical lens into quotation marks. You use quotation marks around the quote and give credit to the author. In the next 3 to 4 sentences, you're going to interpret the quote. What do you think it means? And we talked a lot about this in video 1 and 2. What does it mean for humankind, for relationships, for life in general, or for all literature? What is that quote really saying? And then for your last sentence, it's called the thesis statement. And the thesis statement is what you are going to try to prove with your body paragraph. So that's always considered your controlling idea. Your thesis statement is also your controlling idea. So in your thesis statement, you're going to state both titles with their genres and authors, and then including your interpretation of the quote. So here is the formula for the thesis statement. I'm going to show you an example of a thesis statement that appears in an introduction. Here's an example of an introduction. The student used the quotation first as the topic sentence. Okay, and the author once wrote, so that's fine, they can say wrote. And after wrote, there's a comma, and then there's a quotation. And whatever that author wrote or that said goes word for word, written down. This is where you can copy it. Then the end of the sentence punctuation goes inside the end quote. And that is how to punctuate the critical lens quotation. The next section here in orange is the student's interpretation of what they think the quote means. So the quote is, for what does it mean to be a hero? It requires you to be prepared to deal with forces larger than yourself. So the student says this is what the quote means without saying I think. Heroes are typically people who risk their well-being or their lives for the benefit of others. A person is only heroic, however, if he is willing to take on risks and face challenges that ordinary people would avoid. We think of heroes as being greater than ordinary people, even though they live and walk among us. The difference is, they run toward danger, while others run away from it. What we admire so much about heroes is their willingness to take risks and face challenges that may be grave or even deadly. This is true for literary and mythic heroes as well as the ones we find in real life. So this is a perfect example of how a student would take the quotation and analyze it and think about the deeper meanings and what it means for all literature and what it means for life. Okay, and then the green is the thesis statement. So we've got the type, the novel, title, by the author, and the genre, the title, and the author. So we've got both the title, the genre, and the author for each text. And then the statement. Both reveal that true heroism lies in a person's willingness to confront the forces allayed against him. Now this part here in the quotation is where they were getting that idea. where those forces are more powerful than he. So this is the controlling idea. This is your thesis statement. And every paragraph that comes after this in the body is going to prove that this statement here is true. All of the literary elements and the examples that you would pull out of the Natural and the Odyssey would prove that that statement about the willingness to confront forces allayed against him is true in both of those texts.